How's it going, guys? D_Black bringing you guys another video, Samurai video. And before we get started, I got another challenge for you guys. So if I can get to 40 subscribers by next Thursday, I believe it started, I will be putting out a poll that will have a bunch of selections, and from those two, the two highest rated, I will do videos on. So if I can get to 40 subscribers by next Thursday, you guys getting 2 videos of your choice. But before we get into this video, I want to explain what this video is about. And this video is going to be about the video game that Daruma made at the very beginning of Samurai 8. So at the beginning, Daruma, when Ronin attacks Hachimaru's home, Daruma says, "I made the video game to locate samurai like yourself to locate people like yourself who are interested in becoming samurai." And so he says he's made 8 so far. He's met 8 so far. So that shows us that Daruma made this game for a specific purpose. Now in chapter 22, when we got the latest flashback with Daruma and his master, we note that they are looking for the keys to Pandora's box, and these keys are they have to have a pure samurai soul, pure white samurai soul. So Daruma created the game in order to find, these samurai, the key samurai for Pandora's box. There's 7 of them. So the first key he found was Hachimaru. Now, Hachimaru is the number 1 player, I guess, on the galactic net or whatever, that's what he calls it, in this video game. So that means he's had hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of experience, because he was crippled and that's all he had to do. Now let's take this to the real world, and we look at what we use virtual reality systems to do. We use them for military service, aerial flight, or to train, employees for various activities. And when you use these systems, you're giving the employee the chance, or the worker the chance, to act out certain scenarios before they actually happen in a safe and conducted environment that allows them to fail over and over and over again until they're able to masterfully, go about their things. And the military does this a lot of the times for their new soldiers, so they can get practice with their, life or death situations, and what they can do and what their options are, and how to locate them in certain situations. Now we go back into Samurai 8, and we look that Hachimaru has been playing video games since he was a child. And since he's the number 1 player in this game, we can take the same concept and apply it here. And when we go later on into the discussion, I'm going to get more into that. But in the people have been complaining about Hachimaru's recent growth, and they're like, "Oh, why is he able to do this? Why is he able to do that? Why is he able to beat all these strong opponents like the Ronin, when he cut the tank in half, or, when he was fighting Ata when he destroyed the moon, and now during the Battle Royale tournament when he's taking out all these samurai?" Well, this is why. It took us a while to get here, but we're here now. So Hachimaru is basically a battle-tested veteran. And in the sense that he got all his training, he got all this real life training through the video game created by Daruma. So, and we've been seeing this more frequently brought out and put into note by Hachimaru during the Ata fight. So during the Ata fight, we're going to start there, because that's the most recent example we have. So during the Ata fight, he says that he can count up to 120 frames. Now, I'm not a computer nerd or anything, I'm not a computer genius or computer science major or whatever, but I have no idea what counting frames is for. But apparently he's able to take, what the opponent's doing, their fighting style, and their weaponry, and he's able to count how long it'll take them to move and how long it'll take them to dodge his potential attack. So basically, he's predicting their future movements, which is pretty incredible for a weakling. But the more we go in depth about it, the more we look into it, we can see that Hachimaru, he then in this fight he takes his key holder, because his swing isn't strong enough to cut Ata, and he takes his key holder and applies it to his arm, and he knocks Ata back. And so with this, we see that he's able to apply his knowledge from the game. He's able to think ahead, and we see more of this later on. So in the more recent chapters, we've been getting Hachimaru and Ryu and Daruma fighting amongst these Ronin in this samurai tournament. And so these Ronin are all, samurai that have been, probably training for years or whatever. And people were just, complaining about it. So let me explain why this all makes sense, right? Even leading up to this, we saw that Hachimaru is able to predict people. He's able to look forward to predict their movements. Another example is when he was fighting Ryu, and he noticed that, okay, Ryu's gonna do this when they're fighting, and he's gonna extend his blade because that's Ryu's fighting style. And so he noticed that, and before Ryu extends his blade, he shoots, he cuts off his arm, and that's when he's able to get the hit in on Ryu. So he was able to predict what Ryu was gonna do before Ryu did it. So we're getting all these examples of Hachimaru being a quick learner, quick thinker, and able to apply the game knowledge and real life knowledge that he has from the game to these fights going forward. So another thing I want to note is, now that we're on the planet, right, it's not as if Hachimaru is out here using, Kongoyasha style techniques or anything, because he hasn't learned any. And people, I don't know if they're upset or they're like, I don't think people understand what it means to actually be a samurai, because nobody understands what it actually means to be a samurai. But in the context of fighting, we've seen how grueling and how destructive they can be, and how from Ata and Daruma, or Ata and Mujin, or how destructive and impactful these fights can be or will be. And when we get to, and even from the Kank take, even with Hagamichi and the boar guy, they were seen going through these destroyed towns and whatnot. So it's very possible that we are not seeing the full extent of what samurai are doing, because this is just Hachimaru's basic training. He's getting the basic necessities that he needs to do to develop himself to get to that next level, because he doesn't have the body experience that other people have. So next, I want to note that now that we're in the tournament, right, people are like, oh, Hachimaru shouldn't be able to defeat these veterans or whatnot. We have to remember that he's actually not defeating these people. He's not beating these people. When we get the instructions for the tournament state that one hit to your ki that's damaged and you're out. That's it. That's all it takes. This is Hachimaru's bread and butter at this point. Predicting people in order to get at least one hit in. That's all he needs. That's all he needs in this tournament. It's not like he's going the distance with these people. It's not like they're actually having all-out brawls or whatever, because they're not dying. And we see how how long and big scale these fights can be from previous samurai. So it's not like Hachimaru is out here, doing the silent blade technique where Ata, cut the moon in half, or what Daruma did in chapter 4 where he was teaching Hachimaru the move. It's not like he's doing any of that. Realistically, Hachimaru is still fodder. All he has is the ability to think forward and outthink his opponents, but in the grand scheme of things, when that doesn't matter, Hachimaru is at a severe disadvantage. And you see that with Ata, because he wasn't physically strong enough to cut him. Even with Hayataro, he wasn't able to beat Ryu by himself. He wasn't able to beat Ronin by himself. He wasn't able to save the planet by himself without Anne or Daruma using the techniques. He wasn't able to beat the silent guy, the Swan Samurai guy, and his princess without the help of Anne and Hayatara. Like, it's crazy what people are saying, and when the facts are literally right there in our face. We've just been getting little sword clashes. We've just been building Hachimaru's body up so he can get caught up, so his body can catch up to his actual intelligence. Now, that's not to say Hachimaru won't be a monster in the future, because we already know that's where it's going. Like, he has the power to either save the world or destroy the world. But we have to apply this VR knowledge that he has and apply it to the circumstances of what Hachimaru is as a being right now to understand that, yeah, he's strong in the sense that he can calculate ahead of time. He's great at strategizing and mentally. But outside of that, if this was a straight up one-on-one fight where regeneration and, you know, all of that played a factor, I don't think Hachimaru's beating any of these guys at all. It's just that he's a quick thinker. That's it. And honestly, that's all you need in this tournament, is to be able to land one blow. That's it. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. And remember, guys, like the video, subscribe. I need 8 more for that poll thing to go up. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think, and peace.